Welcome to Alumni Talkies, sir, the space where we relive campus memories, uncover career milestones, and learn from alumni journeys that open up new professional possibilities. Each episode brings us closer to an SCMHRD alumni who has explored diverse and evolving career paths. I'm Taranish.
And I am Ruturaj. Today, we are excited to host an alumnus whose career path offers valuable insight into public policy consulting, a space that combines structured problem solving, stakeholder engagement, and policy advisory work. We are delighted to host Mr. Sanu Shekhar Shrivastava, an SCMHRD alumnus from the batch of 2020, who has built a strong career in public policy consulting, working closely with institutions and stakeholders to shape policy-driven solutions and advisory frameworks.
Over the years, he has worked with large institutions, multi-stakeholder systems, and policy frameworks, applying analytical thinking, operational rigor, and management principles to advisory and consulting roles in the public sector ecosystem. His journey offers a practical roadmap for MBA students curious about policy consulting as a career option.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us on Alumni Talkies. Sir, we welcome you and thank you so much for joining us today.
We'll begin by stepping back in time with a segment we call Your SCMHRD Experience, where we explore how campus learning and early exposure shape long-term career decisions.
So looking back, what is one experience or memory from campus that you feel indirectly prepared you for working in policy or consulting environment?
Studies, late night workouts, and the lectures and the presentations that we give to our faculties are something that definitely give you the boost and the confidence that to stand in the competitive environment that we are in. So these are the things that I truly admire and do remember for the long time.
Yeah.
Sure. That's a great reflection. Many times, this connection only become clear much later in our careers.
During your MBA, was there any course, project, or classroom discussion that first exposed you to policy-oriented thinking or consulting beyond traditional corporate roles that we know?
Yeah, definitely. It's a very good question. During the assignments that we do, generally in project finance and project management, particularly related to any case studies that we solve in. And those assignments are really analytical thinking. What is the perspective? And there are no regular answers for that. It revolves around the perspective that you build. So these are the things that I really focused that time, more than the curriculum that I need to think in. Because at the last, when you jump into the consulting world in particular, it is only about that how fast and how clear you can think. So these are the things that definitely shape up any individual who are studying from the SCMHRD, in particular IDM batch. And so those are the things that I really admire and I can think.
That's very insightful. It shows how awareness about such alternative career paths often begins during academic exposure itself.
So moving forward, if you had to describe your SCMHRD journey as a transformation, what do you think changed the most you in between day one and graduation day that later helped you transition into public policy consulting?
In a one line, I can say that a guy become a man after entering here. Either you are experienced or a fresher, it doesn't matter, because the corporate life that you are going to enjoy after MBA, you can see that if I reflect upon, I was very underconfident guy when I came here in SCMHRD. I was introvert. I'm still but if I can say that when I entered, I was just any regular guy who have some 2 years of experience, worked as an engineer in the government things. But right from here, after I have been graduated, I can see that I am a corporate now. So these things, from a guy to a corporate, from a guy to a man, are the things I can say.
We can literally relate that, sir. Thank you for sharing that so clearly. It really captures how foundational the MBA phase can be.
Moving forward with the next segment. So let's start from early phase of your professional journey. After SCMHRD, what was your first role and how did that experience shape the foundation for eventual move into public policy and consulting?
Okay, so my first role in particular, I can say, is I was working with the PwC. And in PwC, I got to work with the UP state government. And directly, I was reporting to the Chief Secretary of Uttar Pradesh. So, a guy, if I can recall, if I would be Shanu of who entered in the first year, uh, I couldn't talk to the chief secretary. I didn't have the confidence to talk because I always do feel that I do not have that much content that I can talk to such a persona. Uh, I will be exposed after 2 minutes. But after you enter the here for the MBA, you know that still you don't have the content to talk, but you do have the confidence that definitely I can talk and I can make a sense so he can understand. So my first assignment was to make a policy framework. RERA was very new that time, and RERA UP was going to implement the RERA, and we did have the curriculum about the RERA. So that gave me the confidence that I am not starting from zero. I know something better than any graduate because in regular MBAs you don't get to study the MBA, the RERA and policies and all. But I did have the confidence to I can talk to them, and I was good in that. So that is my experience that I can share.
That's a very interesting starting point. It clearly shows how early roles, even outside of policy, can build these skills that later become very crucial in consulting and advisory work on a daily basis. That too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, moving next, many MBA graduates associate consulting mainly with corporate strategy or management consulting. What was the moment or trigger that made you consider public policy consulting as a career option?
So I have didn't choose public policy consulting. It was my fortune. I wanted to go into the consulting because I really like solving the problems, and solving a problem become your main skill. Okay, every MBA do solve the problems in somewhat what may. But an infrastructure guy, I was just wanted to incline myself into the infrastructure anywhere to relate it. And infrastructure starts after policy. If a policy is possible, then only the infrastructure can be possible. So that led to me to one opportunity with the KPMG. I can say that I got the opportunity to frame the public policy related to the some state governments and central government, and I can like proudly say that many policies that you see, even the skill policy or the education policy, I have worked on it. So it is like my small brain. I am very small part of it. The real implementer is government, but I just gave them the idea and it is implemented. I can see that before that policy, what was happening, and right now after that policy got implemented, what are the changes I can see from my eyes. So I'm very proud on that. That these are the things, and I really wanted to make a difference. That I need to work in some work which makes a difference. So yeah, so that is my.
That's very impressive, sir. That's a powerful insight. It highlights how career shifts often begin with the exposure to real world problems rather than predefined job titles.
When you first transitioned into public policy consulting space, what was something you believed your MBA had fully prepared you for, but later you realized that required a very different mindset?
Okay, that's an interesting question. Uh, so I thought that stakeholder management is a keyword. You talk to anybody and it becomes stakeholder management. I thought that. But after I entered to the corporate, then I got to understand that what is the stakeholder management in real. It becomes very ruthless and it becomes very harsh. Meeting somebody doesn't mean that it's a stakeholder consultation or management. If any outcome is coming after meeting some personality, then only it is said to be a stakeholder management. Otherwise, it is just a talking or an interview. So I got to realize that I need an outcome after meeting lots of people, and without outcome, it is just a waste of my time also and the other personality time also. So yeah, so that is the difference that you are seeing.
That's very candid and very helpful to hear as well. It really brings out the difference between corporate problem solving and policy oriented decision making, and how that really stakeholder management does affect both very drastically.
So, again, moving towards the public policy consulting, this firm involves working with governments, institutions, and multiple stakeholders. So, what was one early assignment or experience that fundamentally changed how you approach consulting problems today?
Yeah, see, while working with EY, I realized that EY works with the client with very different approach. If other consulting firms are doing the same thing, then EY don't want to do the same. EY do have an approach of giving a solution and also the value addition. What is the value addition that you are giving to the client apart from the consulting project that we are going to deliver? So that becomes a challenge initially, because you do not have the enough time to complete the task that is the client is expecting, and now you have to give the value addition. And the value addition with the terms, it seems very easy and one word value addition, but if you say what is the value addition in this AI world you can give being a consultant, it's a very harsh reality. So so while working with the government, they were asking about having a policy without a benchmarking. They do not want to that policy to be choose and pick from one state and use good initial incentives from other states. They want to frame a new policy which has never been implemented in any part of the India. So you need to do the world benchmarking, and even the world benchmarking, it should not be replicated in the world also. That was the say. So you need to inculcate many things by thinking, by doing the analytical thinking, by doing the brainstorming with the many people and doing the stakeholder management. What is the best policy that can be there for this particular task? So so that was the challenge that my team had that time, and we successfully delivering still, and we have delivered, and the client was very happy with whatever we gave them. So that is
So, that was the really great perspective, sir. It clearly shows how complexity and stakeholder diversity shape thinking in policy environments.
If you had to identify one defining moment in your career that confirmed public policy consulting was the right long term path for you, what would that moment be?
when I implemented real estate regulatory authority policy in Uttar Pradesh, and with my one decision that was particularly mine, I can say, and the chief secretary also agreed on that. I successfully, I can say that after the implementation of that policy, real estate market increased in Uttar Pradesh by 5%, giving unskilled laborers 1 lakh unskilled laborers a job, and skilled laborers 1.5 lakh skilled laborers got the job after implementation of that policy. And there is a very technical one tweaking that I did, and the chief secretary liked it, and also gave award to the PwC that time for that. So that time proudly I can see that I'm able to increase jobs in one particular state. So so that is the one defining moment. I thought that I would stick to the public policy and I would continue doing that.
Thank you for sharing that. It really captures the sense of purpose and impact that draws professionals to the policy ecosystem. So we did have a lot of questions from the batch, but one that actually stood out the most was us.
Sir, I am Dheeraj Bhardwaj, first year student pursuing infrastructure development and management at SCMHRD. My question is from a student's point of view. Public policy consulting can seem difficult to break into. If a current student at SCMHRD is interested in this field but doesn't have a policy background, what practical steps would you recommend they start taking in their MBA itself?
So see, nobody can teach you policy. Nobody can teach. You can have a policy in your curriculum, but policy do changes every now and then, every month, every year for different states, not might for India. So it is all about how deeply or analytically you can think. Suppose, for example, if I want to implement infrastructure policy in particular, and in infrastructure, I want to deal with the procurement of infrastructure, how government will procure It means the GFR, General Financial Rules, how I have to tweak it into, how I have to make it. So I do have to think lots about what is the problem with the current policies. I do must have some calculations. This these things can't be taught in any curriculum. Nobody can teach you. Okay, so you need to have a deep thinking into any particular task. You need to calculate orally and on Excel also. What are the implications and what are the changes are going to be there by one decision, and that is in particular that you have to think all the time. So for right now, the students, I can say that they need to pick one policy in particular and deeply think about that. Do a global benchmarking. Is the same policy about in suppose in Sweden, Norway, or America, or wherever? How other state governments are doing, and then make another parallel policy of that state. Nobody is asking, I know, but you have to make for yourself. I, being a chief minister, what my policy would be for that state. So that particular one task will give you the boost to talk in an interview also that I have performed this, and in any government advisory would like to hear that. So that is the task, and also you have derived interviewers question into this. Otherwise, if you leave a room open for the interviewers, they will ask many things. But if you give that task, definitely they will definitely try to know that what you have done. Yeah.
Thank you so much for addressing that so clearly. I'm sure that this advice will be especially valuable for students who are doing ADM specialization and who are curious about policy consulting but unsure where to begin.
All right, sir. We've had some great insights so far, but now it's time for something a little more fun. This segment is called Sentence Relay, which is a rapid fire round. We'll start a sentence, and you just have to complete it with the first thought that comes to your mind. No overthinking, just quick, candid, and honest.
Okay.
So, one word to describe your MBA life.
Fun.
Most used app during MBA.
WhatsApp.
Best stress buster on campus.
Bala Bhaiya, now he's not there.
And one skill MBA sharpened the most.
Communication skills.
And one word your friends would use for you.
I can't say that, but let me use a different word. Guy.
Okay. As we wrap up, what final piece of advice would you share with SCMHRD students as they begin shaping their own MBA and career journeys?
Be confident. Your college do have lots of respect in the corporate world. You might not know that right now, but soon when you will enter the corporate world, when you tell about from where you are, you will get to know that how much respect the corporate world gives you, and you will find it difficult to cater to that expectation from the corporate world. So be confident. You are doing well. You will do good in your future. But that's
So that brings us to the end of this episode. Sir, thank you so much for sharing not just your professional journey, but also your SCMHRD memories. To our listeners, we hope you enjoyed this blend of nostalgia, knowledge, and inspiration. Until next time, we, Tarunesh and Ruturaj, are signing off from the 4th episode of Season 6 of Alumni Talkies. Reminding you that once you are part of SCMHRD journey, you carry its spirit with you everywhere.
yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.